consumers, we are we're just people, right? So I think we have this idea as marketers that for some reason when somebody goes to buy something or we're marketing something, we all of a sudden have like everything we think, believe, want, and feel changes, right? But the reality is no, it's just, humans are humans. And whether we're advertising, whether we're buying, or whether we're just watching Netflix or reading a book, we still have the same emotions and feelings and things that elicit emotions and elicit feelings and drive us to think and feel certain ways. And so one of the best examples of that is like think about a place you go to in your local, your town, your neighborhood that you go to because they know you by name, they know what you order, they talk about your family, your friends, they ask personal questions. So for me, there's a bunch of places like that. So like Wawa, for example, which is across the street from me, which is where I get my coffee every morning. It's a gas station, but it's like a luxury gas. It's unless you know Wawa, it's hard to explain. But I've been going there every day since I was like 7 or 8. Right? It started in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and then when I moved down to Florida, they followed me down here. But when I go to Wawa every morning, like the people there know me, right? The managers there know me, the employees there know me. And it's not just me, they know other people and they remember their names. They ask questions that are relevant to them, that are personal, that show they care and they're thinking about them. And I think that says a lot about the business. Not only do they remember, but they also will like buy me free coffee sometimes. So every now and then, every 2 weeks or so, they'll say, "Hey, the coffee's on us," and that costs them next to nothing, right? To buy me a free cup of coffee, maybe costs them 5-10 cents max to do that, right? But to me, that says a lot. It says they care about me, right? And that little action, that little act of picking up my coffee tab, or that little act of asking a question that shows the person remembers our last conversation, it makes me feel valued. So when I decide where to spend my money, I'm going to spend money at places that I think they value my dollar over other places, right? So I can go to Starbucks, and it doesn't matter how many times I go there, they're just a big conglomerate, right? Like they really don't get to know you that well. They're so busy all the time, and that's not their model, right? But there's a lot of places. Even when I grew up, there's a pizza place we used to go to in New Jersey, around the corner from our house, that had like the best pizza in the world, and we would go there all the time, like 1-2 times a week through when I was like in middle school, high school, and all our parties we'd get pizzas from them. We spent lots and lots of money with them over like a 10-year span. And every time I'd go in there, they know you, they know your order, they'd have it ready. And to this day, I went back maybe a year ago and we stopped in. They remember me. They remember what I ordered, and that is it's hard to put a dollar value on that, on making your customers feel valued. And so what I always ask like most marketers and people in courses and trainings of mine is like, think about what you can do as a marketer to make people feel that way, right? And you don't have to go above and beyond. You don't have to get crazy, but simple acts of recognition go a long way. Most businesses, I look at like what they do, right? So most online businesses, they do the bare minimum. They send you a receipt via email, and the receipt maybe has like a thank you in it, right? Thank you for your order. We value it, right? Maybe they have a basic rewards program, a basic affiliate program, or a loyalty program or something like that. But it's always cookie cutter. It's always generic. It's never personal, right? Now think about the advantage that you could have as a business if you started acting like those local businesses, or that business that you go to, that coffee shop you go to, the restaurant you go to, where when you go in there, they actually recognize you and you feel like you're more than just a zero or a comma on their Excel sheet, on their bottom line, right? I'd imagine everyone watching this has that place they go to, right? Like, does anybody watching this have a place that you go to and you go there all the time because of the recognition, because they know you, they know your order, they know what you like, they know what you don't like, and you genuinely feel like the owners, the employees there care about your business? Does anybody have that? Am I the only person that has that? Well, I'm going to assume that I'm not, because I just know from my immediate circle, like people I've asked this question to, that everyone has that place or places they go to. Even our local vet now, they know the dogs well, they care about them, they follow up about them. Little things like that go a long way. That's where we go now every time with our dogs. That's where we're going to spend our money instead of going to Bainfield or one of the big corporate, animal hospitals, right? That don't care about you. That maybe they care about you. That's the wrong word, but they don't show personalized interest or care beyond the immediate interaction and engagement of buying something, right? And so, like, how can you do that as a marketer? How can you show that you actually care about the customer? I mean, there's countless ways. We could spend an entire day talking about ways, creative ways, outside the box ways that we can make consumers, our customers, feel valued and important, right? So one of the easiest ones that I talk about a lot is like the thank you video ad, right? So when we're talking post-purchase retargeting, the thank you video ad is something we've been running for a very, very long time across lots of clients and lots of businesses. And again, it's so basic and so simple and so fundamental, but it's so powerful. And it's simply just an ad that runs for about 5 days after purchase. And all it is the founder of the company saying, hey, for Startup Drugs, we used to do this. Hey guys, this is Max Finn, founder of Startup Drugs. And all I wanted to do is take 30 seconds out of your time, out of your day, to personally thank you for shopping at Startup Drugs. I created this business for entrepreneurs like you and me, and to know we got another incredible entrepreneur in our family makes me so excited. If there's anything I can do personally to make your experience better, to improve the store, improve the products, I want to know so I can do it. Again, thank you so much for being part of the family. Something as simple as that goes a long way. We started doing Startup Drugs. That was one of the first times we did it. I mean, you notice almost an immediate impact in loyalty, in repeat customers, in lifetime value, in average order value, in word of mouth traffic coming to our site because of that one little ad. And that's just one video. That takes 30 seconds of your time. It might take $5 to $10 a day in budget, but it has a massive impact, especially on first-time customers. Because here, what's interesting to me is the assumption that most marketers and business owners have that because they bought from you once, that they're loyal customers. And that's just factually inaccurate, right? The probability that a first-time buyer will buy again is between 5 and 20%. So around 5 to 20%, that's the probability that person's going to buy again. That's pretty low, right? It goes up to 60 to 70% once they've made another purchase. So once they become a repeat customer, the probability of purchase goes up 60 to 70%. That's how likely they are to buy again. Not only are they more likely to buy, but each additional purchase, they spend more money. The 5th purchase somebody makes on you with your business is on average 40% larger. The 10th is on average 80% larger. It's almost 2 times larger, their 10th purchase, than their first purchase. And so our goal as marketers, we want to build real brands and real businesses, should be to turn those first-time buyers into lifelong customers, into brand ambassadors, into loyal customers who have a relationship with our company, right? And the companies that figure that out have massive tangible gains because of that. So if you look at the quarterly earnings of any public company, especially like the big B2C companies like Coke, right, and Nike, you'll see a line item called goodwill, right? And goodwill is basically tying a dollar value to brand loyalty, right? And for some companies, that can be worth billions, if not tens of billions of dollars, right? President Trump says his net worth increases and decreases hundreds of millions, not billions of dollars a day, right? Maybe that's an exaggeration, but it's a brand, right? So the more loyal people are to the brand, the more respected the brand is, the higher that goodwill value is, and therefore the valuation of the company, right? And so goodwill is really, really important. It has there's a tangible dollar value associated with brand loyalty. It's not just about like brand loyalty is this like cool buzzword, right? That we just want people to like our brand. Sure, that's good, but it does have a dollar value associated with it. So if you look at like companies like Coke and companies like Nike and Under Armour and Disney and these brands that have massive goodwill and incredibly loyal customers, it didn't happen overnight, right? Like when you go to a restaurant and somebody sits down and says, I'll have a Coke, and they say, sorry, we serve Pepsi, there's a lot of people who won't even drink the soda. They'll say, I'll have a water, right? I'll have an iced tea. Like that is loyalty at the highest level, right? Like Apple. People that wait for a week outside an Apple store, sleep outside in the rain, in the cold, in the heat, to then give Apple $1,000 for a phone that's not that much better than the phone they have in their pocket. That is loyalty, right? And that happens over years and years and years, not just of selling crap to you, but of building a relationship, right? So if you look at these big consumer brands, you'll notice that a lot of them don't spend all their money on direct response advertising, right? There's an incredible ad running right now that Larissa told me about. She showed me. It's like a Nike ad featuring a bunch of really well-known women, and it's basically talking about how like there's a, when women cry, people use terms like emotional and stuff, and when men do it, it's different. So basically, just men and women being treated differently, and the whole ad doesn't reference Nike at all. It doesn't show a Nike sneaker. It doesn't promote a new shoe, a new product. It says just do it at the end, but that's it, right? Nike didn't run that ad with the goal of selling more shoes. They ran that ad to make a statement, to build a relationship, a deeper relationship with their female customers, right? And a lot of big brands do that. They'll spend money on ads that aren't direct response, that are basically awareness ads, that are basically, content, educational, entertainment content, and not just buy my product, right? And so I think a lot of us as marketers in this space where there's so many experts, so many people sharing their screenshots and their numbers, we tend to try to be like the people that are sharing their numbers, the gurus, right? And not take anything away from them, but I don't really want to follow somebody, or I don't want to model my entire business off of somebody doing $10 million a year selling t-shirts or dropship products from China, right? That's impressive, but I want to do more like the $20 billion company does. Like I want to do more marketing like a $100 billion company does. I want to do more marketing like Coke and Nike and Apple. And then the newer companies that are growing, BarkBox and Purple and Casper and Warby Parker and Harry's and Dollar Shave Club. I want to be more like them. I want to spend my money marketing-wise more like them, allocation-wise. I want to run ads more like them. Because if you follow the gurus in the space, all you would do is just run ads with a shitty image in it of an e-com product to a product page. That would be your entire marketing strategy, right? That's what most experts in the space that are sharing their strategies and their insights and stuff, like it is all just cold traffic to a sales page. And sure, they have hacks and tactics. You use a different max bid strategy and structure your campaigns like this and dupe your winning ad 3 times, not 4 times, and set this rule up. And that's all important, right? And I teach that stuff. But that's not going to build a $1 billion company, right? That stuff doesn't create massive brands, right? It might make you a little more profitable. It might help you spend a little more money more profitably. But you're not going to build the next Nike or Under Armour or Disney because of that. You're going to do that by making customers feel important, by understanding what your customers actually desire in life, what they want in life, what drives them at a deep, fundamental level, and giving it to them. Building relationships with customers so those customers don't just leave after the first purchase and abandon you because somebody has a better price, which is what happens to a lot of people in the space. A lot of people in our space, the dropshipping print-on-demand world, there's no loyalty. It's commoditized. It's all price. So as soon as somebody else comes up with a little more clever ad with a better price, that person's gone, right? But if you want that person that's going to wait a week in the rain to give you $1,000, like the Apple customer, or that person who just won't engage with your customer's product like Coke or Pepsi because it's not the other brand, you need to focus on building relationships. You need to focus on marketing and advertising in ways that aren't just all direct response oriented, right? And it's hard to do that because we've been trained and conditioned, because all we see in our feeds all day, if you're in the online marketing space, I would say 80% of what you see in your feed every day is somebody offering a lead magnet, an ebook, a webinar, a training, a course, a video, or something that is teaching a variation of the same thing. But they're all at the fundamental level, how to get people to give you more money. That's at the root level. All this stuff teaches is how to get somebody that's never heard of you before to try and buy your dropship, print-on-demand, low-quality product, right? That's the world that most of our industry operates in. And I guess what I'm saying is like it's so much bigger than that. That is just like a tiny piece. It is so short-sighted and small-minded to just play in that little pond, right? When there's this massive ocean open over here, right? So I want to look at who's in the ocean. What are those companies doing? What do I need to do to build relationships with customers so they buy my products for years, and then their kids buy the product, and that they spend more money each time they buy, and that they tell their friends about it, right? And that they buy our product for friends for gifts, right? That's the type of relationship you should be striving for with your customers, with your prospects, that relationship. And that happens by running ads and marketing your product and business in a more outside the box way. That's how you do the thank you video ad. That's why you make people feel valued by, randomly every week you pick somebody, a customer, and you just send them a thank you note, right? Maybe even this is something you could do, right? I'm just throwing ideas there. Maybe every day you pick one customer and you write a handwritten note to them as the founder of the company. So you do 365 notes a year to 365 customers. I guarantee you all 365 of those customers each year will be blown away because they got a handwritten note from the founder of a company. And I guarantee you no other company is doing that. Like, there's so many obvious things that we could be doing as marketers that separate us from everybody else, that build relationships on a one-to-one fashion with our customers that don't cost thousands of dollars, $10,000. We don't have to give away tons of stuff. We don't have to send massive prizes and stuff like that. Little acts go a long way. Consistent little acts that are personal have massive impacts, right? And so that's what I wanted to share today. Is I've been thinking more and more about it, of like how we can continue to separate ourselves in the marketplace on the info product side, with our clients, with everything we do. What can we do to continue to interrupt patterns? What can we do to stay ahead of the curve? What can we do to make sure we stand out? Because the reality is, you look at some of the companies that are crushing it right now that we're hearing most about in our space, none are truly groundbreaking, revolutionary products, right? What's revolutionary about Purple or Casper mattress? What's revolutionary about Dollar Shave Club? What's revolutionary about, you can go through the list, Squatty Potty. There are so many products. And sure, I'm not taking away the fact that they don't have great products. You need to have a great product at the fundamental level. What I'm saying is they all entered very competitive marketplaces, right? Nobody in the right mind a few years ago would say, like, you know what market I want to enter? The mattress market. It's already flooded. It's saturated. There's a mattress shop right across the street from us right here. I haven't seen a customer in there for 3 years. Every time we drive by, there's the one person that works there. That's like the only person that's in there. One person. But there are like 30 mattresses in there. Why would you enter that space? Nobody would enter that space. But Casper and Purple and these companies, they entered it, but they just changed the game. They changed the way you market it. They changed the way you sell it. They changed the way you interact with customers. They changed the way you treat customers. They changed the customer service, the messaging, the identity of the brand. They focus on creating entertaining content and making mattresses fun, right? They took all the negatives out of the buying process and they made it an enjoyable process, right? Same thing with like Squatty Potty. Squatty Potty, they took a stool that you can buy for $2 anywhere, but they branded it as a stool you put your legs on so you can poop better, right? And all they did was like, hey, this is, the bathroom market is totally saturated. There's a lot of people in there. But what we realized is nobody wants to talk about pooping, right? Like there's all these toilet paper brands and these sprays and stuff. None of them mention actually the act of going to the bathroom in any of the commercials. They try to be really PG, even though we all poop. Even it's not like a secret, right? That like when we say that, it's like, oh my God, that guy poops. Like everybody does. And so Squatty Potty was like, well, let's just go all in on it and let's have fun with it. Let's make our brand entertaining and let's leverage the fact that nobody wants to talk about it and make it funny, right? Let's make it something that people can talk about in a funny way without being embarrassed about it. And they did the same thing with, Poopery and all these brands. And so none of those brands like came out with some revolutionary new technology or innovative product or invented a new product category, right? That didn't exist before them. But they did. Even though there's now like Goby and Quip in the toothbrush space. There's Snow in the whitening space. All these brands, they entered these markets knowing they're very competitive and they're massive and there's a lot of entrenched players, but they're boring. That Crest and Colgate and these companies, they don't care about their customers. They're massive, multi-billion-dollar conglomerates, right? They're disconnected from the customers. So we can come in as the brand in the new space, as the upstart, and be nimble, be personal, build relationships, do things fun, make it entertaining and engaging, right? We can We can think outside the box because we're lean, because we're not a $20 billion company with a 50-year history. That limits the big players. Their history, the fact that they shareholders, the fact that they're public, all of that changes the way they can advertise. We as small companies, like, we have such an advantage, but we don't take full advantage of it because we try to be very corporate. We try to sound like, like a boring, stuffy company because we don't want to be polarizing. We don't want to upset people. We don't want to, we don't want to ruffle feathers. We don't want to get people to commenting negative stuff on our brands. So anyway, I just, something I wanted to share today. I'd be curious to know what everyone's thoughts are on some of the strategy laid out. I think, again, like the handwritten letter thing, the handwritten note thing could be huge, right? You could reach 365 customers a year with a handwritten letter as the founder of the company. That's powerful, at least to me. If I got a handwritten letter from any of the companies I spend money at, that would go a long way with me. I probably would share it. I'd talk about it so they'd get word of mouth business from me, and I would definitely spend more money with them, right? That would cost you next to nothing as the owner of the company. It would take 5 to 10 minutes of your day. You can do that. Maybe you can do a few a day, right? That's easy. The thank you video ad takes 30 seconds and a few bucks a day. That's easy. These are all easy things to do. Pick up the phone and call some of your customers. Call a customer a week, right? Especially if you're selling higher ticket. And you don't have to sell them anything. You don't have to pressure them. Just genuinely thank them, right? Thank them for their business and ask if there's ways you can make the experience better, right? All of those things just deepen the hooks. They build deeper and deeper and deeper relationships with your customers. And that is how you build big businesses with massive goodwill, is by focusing on individual relationships with your customers. You're not going to be able to do it with everybody, but you can still do it, and you can have a massive impact, even if it's only a fraction of a percent of your total customer base. But that fraction of a percent becomes massive advocates for your brand. You can do some amazing things. So again, let me know what you guys think of it. I would love to hear if you implemented these strategies, how they worked for you. So just let me know in the comments when you guys give it a try. Thanks.